and we didn't get a single lead for 6 months. In the 7 or 8 months since then, we're at about 5 or 6x.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Reside Platform podcast. I'm your name, Suneet Agarwal. I'll be hosting today, and today I'm here with Ross Hardy from the Hardy team. Ross, what's going on, dude?
We are living the dream down here, man. It's always a fun day in real estate.
Yes. So, on this show, I really want to give people like a glimpse into your successes and some of the things that are really working. You guys, Ross is also a great coach for us at the Reside platform. So really excited to hear all his nuggets he's going to share. Are you ready, bro?
Absolutely, man. Let's get into it. I'm excited.
Good. So origin stories are all good, but do you ever listen to like an agent's origin story on a podcast and say, why am I listening to this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, me too. So let's just skip it. How's business right now?
Business is good, man. We're really excited as we roll into, what's typically the quiet season here. Everyone goes through that bell curve and ours dips off towards the end of the year, but we're still going strong at the moment. We're just coming off the back of our best month. And so we're carrying that momentum through, and this is going to be the year that bucks the trend. We're going to have a good winter and rip this thing through.
What's the name of the city that you're in for the listeners?
Yeah, so we're in Spring Hill and Brooksville, Florida. So we're about 45 minutes north of Tampa. So not quite a suburb, but, close enough.
Are you guys on the ocean?
We're about 15 miles inland from the Gulf. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Do you have gators?
Oh, yeah.
You do? You ever see them?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had listings where like the owner's like, oh, don't tell the new homeowner if they buy it, but like don't let the dogs out the back because there's a gator in that pond out there, and they had one of the neighbor's dogs away and stuff. And oh yeah, for sure.
Of course, you have to disclose that. So we'll change the topic. So over the last couple of years, you like took your team. Like I remember when we met. It's almost our anniversary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's almost our anniversary. I remember when we met, you said, I want to be the number one Remax team in Florida.
For transactions close. We're not going to do them on dollar volume where we are, but transactions close.
Brother, I hear you. That's the same thing I said in 2021, 22. I said, I'm not going to get him a volume, but I will get him in units. That's for sure. Yeah, dude. Great, great goal. And you guys have really grown a lot over the last 2 years. So let's talk about that. For everybody listening, Ross's wife, who is also the director of ops on the team, was on a previous episode. So if you haven't heard it, I want to hear more about the ops side, go back. Both of them were also on an episode talking about stuff on the team. So lots of value. It's almost like we have a series, the Hardy series. Oh,
yeah.
Wasn't there already a book series called the Hardy series?
The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. Okay. Yes. Yes. So we're doing our Hardy series. So let's talk about like the stuff that's really working for you right now to grow your team and do transactions. So number one, let's talk about recruiting. What is the biggest lever for recruiting working for you right now?
Yeah, I love that. So believe it or not, Indeed is, you may or may not be surprised. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I was one of those people, full disclosure, when you were saying that, like it didn't register. It's like, such a simple nugget. Like, you got your 27-point recruiting thing. And I'm like, Indeed. Like, I don't like, because I tried Wise Hire before and didn't get anything out of it. So I'm like, all right, well, we don't need to worry about that. Let's get on the other stuff. I think it was our second or third coaching call. You were like, hey man, how's that Indeed ad? I'm like, I don't have it up yet. And you're like, why don't you have it up? And I'm like, all right, you kind of got on my ass a little bit. I'm like, I'll have it up within the next hour and I'll send you a screenshot. And like nothing came in for like the first 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, see, I knew this was going to be a waste of time. And then they all start coming in. It's like, all right, well, I guess I was wrong on that one. But we get a really good steady flow of that. And it's been a transition because when I first joined Reside, it was like, okay, we want as many experienced agents as we can get. And we've kind of transitioned more towards the new agent model because we can pair them up with mentors, mold them a little bit more. They don't have the bad habits. We've really had some good success with those. And, Indeed brings a pretty steady flow of those, especially. So we really learned to work well, with that. Yeah. So that's our biggest source of people at the moment.
And then what's number two?
Social. When I'm on social, it's good. But then I fall into the habit of like everybody else, there's a million other things to do in the day and I back off of it a little bit, or I just don't find the time to do it. But when I'm on it, I get reach out. So like somebody reached out a couple of days ago. Hey, me and my friend are looking to interview. Are you hiring people? So I use the old Suneet line. I said we're always hiring people.
Yeah. Hey, it's true. Is when you say social, that person hits you from your personal Facebook or Instagram or what?
Yeah, personal. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram get pretty decent response on both of those.
How often you been posting on Facebook?
Joe, again, when I'm on it, I'm 3 or 4 times a day at least. But recently, if I've been posting like 5 times a week, that would be about it. But I definitely notice a pickup in activity across all aspects. Referrals from customers. I mean, like all sorts of stuff when I'm actually posting.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted, I think, 5 times today.
Yeah,
Something cool that a lot of people don't know about Facebook yet is you can schedule posts now on your personal. So, like this weekend, I had, I think my eldest daughter was on her iPad and reading a book, and my youngest daughter was taking her nap. She's still at that age. And I came in here and I wrote like 40 posts, right? Using AI on 100% of them. But I would write one post and then make like 5 different versions and plan it out 5 months in advance. So for everyone listening, like just sit down and just make it a thing. If you're not inspired, look at your old posts and just copy them and iterate on them in ChatGPT or whatever AI tool. It doesn't even matter.
yeah. I wouldn't even be that far ahead on it. Like, I forget who it was at John's at the ranch where they were saying just be one day ahead. And so I would literally, because I changed my Facebook to like a content creator account or digital creator account, where you could schedule it still before they allowed it to be scheduled. But I would literally just sit down in the evening and say, okay, I've got to schedule 3 or 4 posts for tomorrow. Where I'm not worried about the day after or the day after or the day after. All I've got to do in the next 20 minutes is get these 4 posts for tomorrow scheduled, and I'd come up with something. I would just do it day by day.
Yes. We log every post in Monday. And then, so on a sheet, and then I'll feed that sheet into ChatGPT or another AI tool that I'm using and have them just make different variations of the same post. I do that. I hope people listening do that too, right? But it's just a way to stay constant. So good. So social media and Indeed. Now, when you talk to coaching clients in Reside Platform, what's the first bit of recruiting advice that you give them?
So if they don't have the Indeed ad, it's get the Indeed ad up. But if not, it's get on the weekly email, get the email list in, so that when you're making recruiting calls or text messages, it's not a cold one. Hopefully, they've been consuming some of your content. So again, when I'm on fire with that email going out, those phone calls are so much easier to make because you're calling the people that open the email. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Are you noticing the same kind of reaction when you tell a coaching client to post on Indeed as you gave me back in the day? If everyone's all bro, Indeed.
Because it's too simple, right? People want a flashy solution to something, and Indeed's just too easy. Like you put an ad up and you just forget about it, and you never change the copy, and you just, like, doesn't sound very sexy, does it?
Never change the copy. My ad hasn't changed. The only thing that changed is I don't think it says big block anymore. It might. Ross was on a call this week where I showed a video. I said, "Oh, it doesn't say big block." I hit play, and sure enough, showed big block and not LPT. But have I told anybody about it? Anyone? Nah.
No one's complained, so
Yeah, no one's complained. Yeah. Good. So, indeed, everybody listening, take it from Ross. Ross has grown his team. Ross has helped many other Reside teams grow their teams too. The first step is Indeed. Duh. Right? The second step, post more on social.
yeah. I've got to give a shout out to Brandy because she's killing it on social and she's growing her team. She's up to 34 agents now.
Wow. And when she joined, I think she had 5.
Yeah, and she's getting people reach out to her saying, "Hey, I keep seeing you post on social all the time. Looks like your team does so much fun stuff. Like, I want to be a part of that."
Yes, and her content's good. She has the one where she's all, "Oh, hey, what's up?" It's really good. Shout out to Brandy. We need her on the show because I want to talk about that because for the longest time she wouldn't post.
Yeah,
Right. It took, I think, finally being at the last Reside event we had at the ranch in Mississippi, where she finally committed to doing it.
yeah. And I'll tell you, I go one step further. She had a broker who's a very long established broker in her area, whose husband owns a construction builder, a very well respected, who decided she's closing down her brokerage because she, in her own words, she's like, I'm not doing right by my agents because I'm not providing them with the tools that they need. And she actually sought Brandy out because of her social media presence and moved over with her agents.
Get the hell out of here.
Heck yeah. So that's the power of social.
Wow.
And Brandy's like, I respect the hell out of this broker. Like that's the whole thing. Like you never know who the people you respect are watching.
Dude, I mean, something really crazy like Nick McLean, co-founder of Reside. We have our KFR domination, the recruiting business. And Nick said, is along the same lines, you never know. Is when he first got licensed, there was this one agent, this woman who had market share. She did all the luxury stuff, right? We all have them in our markets, right? Multiple. And he was super intimidated by her, whatever. And the talent coordinators we have making dials called her and set an appointment. And he's all, what? This woman set an appointment to talk? So he had his admin call who does the recruiting for him, Tessa. She's all, yeah, she wants to sit down and talk to you.
And that's something.
Isn't that so? He's all, I would have never called that. So you never know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Nick. Dude, good story. Good. Okay. So we got that out. So the recruiting. We talked about Indeed. We talked about posting more on social media. You mentioned something about email. Where should people start if they want to send email? I'm really curious to what you're going to hear. So no judgment. I'm curious.
No, no. So, I mean, essentially, however you want to brand it, I call it my 1 minute tip of the week, right? My one minute real estate tip. So, and it's just something that, again, like when you've been doing real estate for a long amount of time, you've accumulated a bunch of knowledge, which is just inherent to you that other people don't know. And I forget who said it, but like, our normal is someone else's exceptional. So, like, what you think is a simple throwaway tip is going to move someone's business forward. So it could be tips on open houses or, calling leads or time blocking or, here's the 5 apps you need on your phone. Do that. Like just a simple 1 minute tip. I'll do a little video reel, post it on my social, send out an email that kind of breaks down the general content of the video, links back to the reel on Facebook, send it to the agent list, catchy headline with an ellipsis, dot, 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 and then carries on. And then basically the email software will track who opens it, who clicks on the video, reach out to those agents. Hey, Suneet, did you, I'm not sure if you've seen my emails. I've been sending out 1 minute tips to realtors recently. Well, you've seen it because, I've seen you've been clicking on it. Wondering if there's anything you're struggling with that maybe I can make a video about to help you and some other people. That normally leads to a pretty decent conversation. If you want to go a little bit deeper on that, why don't you and I get together and I can help you a little bit on that. But it's a great conversation starter, just a simple 1 minute tip.
Yeah, dude, really good advice. I never heard you say that before, the 1 minute tip. And you're making a video? Is that what you said?
Yeah, just in my office, 1 minute real video.
Dude, good idea. See? And that's not overcomplicated. Do you have some fancy setup at the office?
No.
Dude, that's so good. And it's so, you're right. It's so actionable, right? Like you have something to share. People don't know that CRMs exist.
No.
Right? People don't know about an IDX website. These are the basic things that many, probably the audience to this show, the CRM, I got 8. I do have 8. All right. But like, website, oh, I can send an automated text. Like, you guys, that's groundbreaking.
Oh, Suneet. I was the first person to get Zillow leads in my market. I must have been getting Zillow for a full 2 years before I realized you're supposed to call a lead more than once.
Yeah, dude, same. I wasn't first, but I remember the rep calling me, how are the leads going? Oh, these leads suck. Oh, yeah. How are you working them? Oh, well, I call them once.
I called and left a voicemail. Yeah.
Yeah, I called and left a voicemail. Oh, if they don't call me back, they're not serious.
Right.
We share that story, dude.
Yeah. Like it's just a simple tip like that. Like, God, like double dial and then call once a day for 7 days. Like, think how a simple thing like that, they don't know what they don't know, would transform someone's business.
Dude, well, I remember when I heard those things, got me to sitting here.
Yeah. But now you don't think about it. Now it's so ingrained in you that that's such a common sense piece of information. You probably would barely even think to mention it to anybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so good, bro. Yeah, that's why, right? Like when I do have recruiting conversations, I coach more team leaders now to have recruiting conversations than I have. I have Anna Stender on my team that does a much better job than me. Well, now, not always, but now. When I'm having a conversation with the recruit, I say, hey, we have a CRM. It's where you keep all the information about the clients and what they're into, and it's really easy to use. We have a website where buyers can go look for houses and sellers can get a home value. It's real easy to use. We have some text messages that we can automate to send out. People are, oh, wow. Right. So that just tells you like there's that 1 minute tip, bro. How do I get added to that list?
Well, you can email me and I'll add you to it, but I don't have the single page site up yet, but just email ross@hardyrealtor.com.
Do you want a single page site up on that?
John Paul just finished it. I just approved all the stuff on it.
Okay, okay, good. I was gonna say I can have John Paul join the podcast right now.
We're almost there. We're almost there, my man. I just approved the final edits.
Okay, okay. Let me know because I want that for you. Dropping that newsletter link, just, people are so concerned, not you, but so many people are so concerned with like being some fancy marketer and saying, oh, I need some ebook or I need this or I need that. And while that's good to have, you just put a landing page to get on a weekly email from you, you'll be surprised AF at the people that just sign up. And like, dude, my emails right now are getting like 76% opens, bro.
It's killer.
It's killer.
Yeah, I'm at about 43 on my agent ones, but I'm at about 70% on my client facing ones.
Yeah, see, that's killer. That's killer. Yeah, email's a trip. I really like it. Two of my admins made an error, and I'll own it. One of them put like an extra 30,000 leads, 40,000 leads in my main email list. And then I told my other admin to send an email to this list name, this one thing, and it hit all 40,000. So for everyone listening, right, there's a domain ranking that you have in Google that tells you how deliverable your emails are. We went from the highest to the middle. And if anything, that's maybe it's just my ego that got hurt a little bit. But I said, okay, now I need to get it back up to high. So I really focused on the principles of email. I gave a free download in every email without an opt-in. In the subject line, I put like free gift, right? So, maybe I should just do something longer on email before we talk about it the whole time. But I want people to know Ross just gave you a really easy tip for email before I complicate it.
It's been a really fun rabbit hole to go down. You got me onto this. Like I could talk about this for way longer as well, but we'll move on to something else. But I've really enjoyed going down that rabbit hole about warming up domains and doing that the right way and increasing deliverability. It's really been a very, very big learning experience.
Yeah, because we own our email lists. You don't own Facebook traffic. You don't own any social traffic, right? And if you have people that are opening your shit on your email list, I remember I was walking down the beach in Santa Cruz and I listened to a podcast from Russell Brunson, or I was listening to one of his secrets books. He said something about you make X amount of dollars for every person on the list. I was all bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's way more than whatever he said in the book, right? So good, good. So let's talk about getting real estate transactions. What has been the top source for real estate opportunities for your team?
So we are a Zillow Flex team. That is our number one lead source currently. Obviously, it's taken a number of years to build up through Premier Agent to get it to that point. I'm sure Sarah spoke about that on her podcast, but that was her baby when she came in. So we crush it on Zillow leads. Sphere, we do very, very well on because of the email and because of the social stuff. We're constantly in front of our people and get a lot of repeat opportunities there. And then other than that, Google, both LSA and Google profile, pulling in a ton of stuff on that also.
And you're doing some stuff on YouTube too, aren't you?
Yeah, so YouTube's been one of those things. It's been my pet project for the last year or so. My goal is that, in 2 years from now, it will be our number one lead source. So we're already on the way to that. So YouTube, basically think of it as Zillow quality leads without the referral fee, and it's all organic. So like that's been just kind of game changing for my outlook on real estate and how I've run the team. But it's the agent's favorite lead source at the moment, hands down.
Really? So, like, how did you get started on that?
Oh, God. So Ken Pozek, who might be familiar to some of you guys listening to the call, is an awesome agent out of Orlando. I was on a mastermind panel with him, and I knew he had a really strong YouTube business. And I was listening to him talking about his lead sources and how many deals they were closing from YouTube. And I kind of was already heavily into video at the time, but not long form video. And I realized that I needed to be on this. I knew there was something there. I'd seen enough people have enough success, but didn't have any firsthand stories that I knew I needed to do something with that. So being the overachiever and the action taker that I am, I sat on it for about 2.5 years and researched it to death until I knew enough to open up my own YouTube company without ever having made a video. And then one day just finally burned the boats and paid for a year up front with a editing company, and just they give us the content ideas, some scripting, we upload the raw video, they edit it, they do the thumbnail, the SEO, and everything else, and just started making videos. And just honestly, I could kick myself having delayed that time, thinking how much further I could be ahead now if I just done it 2.5 years earlier. But I will tell you, never in my life in a small town of 8,000 people in Brooksville did I think that we would have the traction and success that we're having with it.
What do you attribute that to? The traction and success you're having with it?
Consistency, for sure. That is the number one thing. The content helps and the thumbnails and all of that stuff. But if you're not doing it consistently, you're dead in the water. You might as well not bother making them.
Wow. Now, does the agency you work with, do they have you go out to like houses like Joe did and do all that?
We kind of sat down and came up with a very clear strategy on 2 or 3 pillars of content that we wanted to make, depending on who we were trying to target. So for us, targeting out of state buyers of a certain buyer profile, new builds were one of the things we did. We're not very heavy on new build videos. We kind of pepper those in a little bit. We're more heavily focused around like hyper local content as far as pros and cons, map tours, best neighborhoods in, and then some more kind of current stuff with like the interest rates being the way they are. Like if I made $60,000 a year and in Spring Hill, I would live here, and working out what can you afford with those salaries. So kind of flipping the script.
Are you shooting like out in the world or at the office?
I do about 50-50. Half of them are shot in the office, half of them are on location.
How do you shoot on location? You have somebody?
No, because that was another thing that kept me waiting 2.5 years was like, I might need to find a videographer. I need to do this. And I just have a selfie stick with my DJI Osmo Pocket. And again, like the first couple of times I did it, I'm like, I'm going to look like an idiot walking around with this selfie stick around this town and everyone's going to know who I am and laugh at me. I'm like, well, I've got to do this anyway. So I go around with my selfie stick.
That's great, dude. That's great. Let me tell you, maybe I've told you this. I had a full-time videographer for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And we pushed 5 long forms a week to YouTube. 5 long forms a week. And I almost broke him, right? It was too much. And the ones that did the best were not the ones of me talking some shit about pros and cons. It was me out on the street, on location. It almost didn't matter where the location was.
Yeah, like about on the town. I'll give you one quick story. Builder opened up a model here. They're a builder out of Texas, never built anywhere but Texas. First foray into another state. They happened to choose Brooksville, Florida. So I go into the builder's model. I'm like, hey, am I okay to shoot some video here? I'd love to help you guys out, help me out for my YouTube channel. He's like, yeah, have at it. So I go do the video and I call back in to see him and try and strike up a relationship. And they'd actually flown all of their sales staff in from Texas to man these models in Florida and relocated these people. And he's like, you're the guy with the YouTube channel, right? Now, bearing in mind at this point, I have about 350 subscribers. I'm like, maybe. He's like, yeah. He said, when I found out I was moving to Brooksville, Florida, I'm like, I don't even know where the hell this place is. I start going online, like, you're the guy walking around with the selfie stick in the coffee shop and all around downtown Brooksville. I'm like, that's me. He's like, would you mind if I sent that video to everybody on my client list so they know what Brooksville's like? I'm like, yeah, like have at it. And he's like, and when you finish this video, can I send this video to all my customers as well? And then do you have a video about the community and all the amenities in here? I'm like, no, but I can have one real quick. And so I made a video and he sent it out to his entire client database for the builder. So now they're watching my YouTube video and like stupid stuff like that, right? And it's all from me walking around with a selfie stick in this town of 8,000 people.
Dude, that's huge. If somebody was on here and wanted to start YouTube, what advice do you have for them? Just go hire somebody?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're really into editing and stuff like that, the problem is you have to be an SEO expert, editing.
Well, yeah, nobody should be into editing. Nobody should be into it.
Because it's SEO, it's thumbnails, it's content. Like you need to know the scripts, you need to know the types of videos. Like you're not going to do it on your own. Like I know what people are thinking is like, because we all watch these YouTubers like Joe, right? They have like 40,000 people on their subscribers list. And you're like, man, like I'm never going to be that big. So I'm not going to get any business from it. And that was one of my beliefs is like, I'm in such a small town. Who's going to watch these videos and who's going to call me? Right. But here I am at 1,295 subscribers as of today. And we didn't get a single lead for 6 months. So that's the other thing is you need patience. You need to know that you're not going to have the phone ring for probably 6 months. But in the 7 or 8 months since then, we're at about 5 or 6 our investment. And I would take any lead source that gives me a 5 or 6x.
Yeah. Now, how do you scale that? Make more videos or have more patience?
Well, I think make more videos, right? So we've branched into other markets. So markets where we don't have a presence, we've started making videos in those areas, and we're starting to pull in leads in those areas as well. So it allows team expansion. So there's always newer areas you can do it. Now you don't want to go too far, because if your channel is named after the city, then people are coming to that channel expecting videos of that city. So you have to be a little bit careful balancing that out. And then I think there's an incubation there. So like when people come to our YouTube channel, now we've got them, they're captive, but then maybe still, a lot of these people are maybe 6 months, a year out, right? Some of them are pretty close to it, but some of them are a little bit further out. Well, how do we keep them? Well, they might keep coming back to the YouTube channel, but maybe not, because they've learned what's good and bad about the area at that point. So we have a couple of Facebook and Instagram pages like Discover Spring Hill and Hernando County Food Lovers, where I'll do restaurant reviews, business reviews, local events. Here's what's happening this weekend. So that once we get them into our ecosystem, we've shown them what the pros and cons are and everything you need to know about the area. And these are the good neighborhoods. But now what does life look like here? So like, hey, there's the Tangerine Festival in downtown Brooksville this weekend. Like, make sure you hit it up. Or there's movie in the park, or here's the new pizza place that just opened. Here's my review of their pizza. So now they're actually learning more about the nitty gritty day to day life. So we're pulling them in top of funnel, working them all the way down to the point where by the time they actually are moving here, there should be no doubt who they're calling.
Bro, that's how you build a real fucking business. I love that. I love that. Such a good job. Yeah, so awesome, dude. Now, let's say that I'm a team leader, well, which is not a big stretch. Let's say that I'm an audience member who's a team leader who wants to just start getting some leads for their team. What should they do?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer that you need kind of a little mixture, right? So your pay-per-click leads are going to be pretty inexpensive, probably the least expensive, to buy, but they're much lower conversion rate and they're longer duration to convert typically. So if you're trying to build your business off of those, you're not going to see much in the way of short-term impact, I don't think, even though they provide a really good ROI and you get people into your ecosystem pretty quickly at large numbers. So balancing that with one, using all of the free referral lead sources. So your home lights, effective agent and stuff like that, as many of those you can sign up for, but then something with a little bit more immediacy, like, so typically those are portal leads, right? So your Zillow Premier, if you can buy those, your realtor.com, homes.com, easy, something like those.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of good stuff. It's good to have a mix, and I subscribe to that too. And you should post more on social media if you're a team leader.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? Because, we all know like 10, 12 realtors. So the chances of you being the person they call at the moment they need you is not good if you're not the person that's top of mind. So the more you can post, the more you can be in front of those people. Proof of concept.
Super funny is my high school reunion. My 30th high school reunion is coming up in like 2 weeks. And I was looking on the social media that was about the high school reunion, who's all coming, and I liked it. The former class president said, "Oh, Suneet, you're coming. Don't you have like the world's largest social media following?" Right? I'm honored that you would to say something like that. Of course, it's not true. Or she said the year, right, like of anyone in our group. So it was interesting. But yeah, you just got to stay front and stay seen. What other advice do you have for team leaders who are wanting to follow in your footsteps for success and making money and growth?
Man, I'll give you a couple. So the first one is realizing that not everyone's you, right? So when we're a team leader, if you're starting a team, yeah, you're normally starting a team because you're very driven. Like there's probably a perfectionist part of you and a reluctance to give stuff up if you're anything like me and some of the other team leaders I know, but no one's going to do the job the way you do it, for the most part, right? But that's okay because you find better ways of doing stuff. Everyone has their own style. If everyone tried to do it exactly like you did it, it wouldn't be relatable. But to scale, you have to hand stuff off. So whether you're using that on the admin side or agents for buyers agents, listing specialists, anything like that, you have to trust that they'll do the job 80% as well as you, and use that leverage to be able to grow and spend time on other stuff. So that was a very difficult one for me. I still struggle giving stuff up, but I am getting a little better at it. So, realizing that no one else is you, and that's okay. Number two, I would say, is being a team leader is difficult. Like it's not glitz and glamour and yachts and Ferraris and everything else. Like the good months can be good, but the bad months can be really, really bad. And like that roller coaster in real estate, you have a bad month as an agent in real estate, you're not losing money unless you've done something really, really badly wrong. As a team leader, like a bad month is a bad month. So having the strength to look in the mirror when you're having those bad times, and maybe you have 3 or 4 of those back to back, and be able to pull yourself out of it and have the faith in yourself and the team that you can turn it around. That can be hard. Not everyone's cut out for that. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never struggled with it. You remember me a year ago when I came back from Italy? I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, bro, all the time. Like it's natural, and it's just owning a business. Like taking those licks can be exhausting.
Yeah. I kind of equate that to like being able to do the same thing over and over again without seeing the results. Like it's like a superpower, right? That's a lot of what being a team leader is: doing the right stuff for a really long, extended period of time without seeing a result out of it. And then one day it all clicks and everything's rosy. So that would be the second one. And then three is like, this is probably the worst and the hardest of all of them, is the realization that you can't be everyone's best friend.
Nor should you want to.
Nor should you want to. I had a team where we would cut off work at 4 o'clock and go to the bar every day. And while it was a lot of fun and the culture was spectacular, wasn't great for me from a team leader perspective when it came to trying to have difficult conversations around accountability and other stuff like that. So there's had to be a shift in that, where I have a great relationship with everybody on our team. I love them dearly, and I do have some very, very good friends on the team. But yeah, there's a very clear delineation between being the team leader and outside of that circle. Like, being the one that has to give them bad news is not a position anyone wants to be in, but that's one of the bigger obstacles to growth, is being able to have tough conversations with people who you like, that like you.
Yes, dude, so good. So, hey, if anybody wants to send you a deal or learn more about coaching with you, which is really good because Ross obviously knows his shit, how should they reach out to you?
Yeah, so probably best way is hit me up through social. So just Ross Hardy, Hardy. You find me on Facebook, Insta.
Yes, you guys send him your referrals for Spring Hill, Florida. And
Anywhere north of Tampa, we'll take them.
yeah, how about just anywhere north Florida? You can figure it out, right?
Yeah, anywhere within an hour of Tampa north, we'll take it.
Okay, perfect. Hour of Tampa. You heard it here first, or probably not first, but you heard it here. But yeah, you guys go give Ross a follow. Check out his YouTube. Check out his other social. The dude is crushing it. And check out, like I said earlier, the other episodes with both the one with him and his wife, Sarah, the director of ops, and with Sarah herself, too. Check out the Hardy trilogy on the Reside podcast. As always, if you got something out of this, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time, where we meet another badass team leader, entrepreneur out here making it happen, on the next episode of the Reside Platform podcast. Peace out.